Okay. Hi, everyone. So let me just introduce myself. My name is Hammad. I'm an assistant professor of economics here in Norway at the University of Stavanger Business School. A little bit about me. I am a Canadian Pakistani. So I was born in Karachi, Pakistan. And then my family, they moved to Canada in around the year 2000. So I grew up in Canada and I did all of my education, my university education there. So my bachelor's, my master's, and PhD were done at the University of Toronto in economics. And after finishing my PhD, I joined the University of Stavanger as an assistant professor 3 years ago. So I'm really happy to be here and tell you about our master's program that we have. So if you're doing your bachelor's right now and you're going to be graduating soon and you're thinking about potentially studying abroad, let's say in Norway, then we have a nice set of master's program that you can consider applying to study abroad. So I will tell you about the university, a little bit about the city and the program offerings we have, the requirements to apply for the program, and then at the end of the session, we will do a question and answer session. And I have actually invited four different Pakistani students who have experience with this program. They either did the program or they're teaching in the program, so they can share a little bit about their experiences living in Stavanger and being a part of the university. Okay, so why would you consider studying at the University of Stavanger Business School? So this is an internationally accredited business school, and within local national rankings in Norway, we're often considered a top five business school. We have international faculty that are world renowned in terms of their publications and international journals and presentations and conferences all over the world. Our program is also strongly connected to the local industry. So Stavanger is the oil capital of Norway, so there are a lot of good jobs in the oil industry within Stavanger. And our historical records show that our students have a good postgraduate opportunities to work locally. So 65% of our graduates, two-thirds of our graduates, they essentially work locally in the region, many for an oil company, and 80% of our graduates, they get a relevant job within a year of graduation. So before I go on with the boring slides, I actually have a video that I can show you about the business school, and I think visualizations is always a lot better than words. So I'm just going to play this video that we have, and when I play it, just see if you can hear it. If you can't, then I can just uh, annotate on top. But is the video audible?
The video
It's
isn't
not.
audible.
Okay, it's not audible. That's okay. Then I will just annotate on top. So this is our business school. So it's this building, and now they're showing the offices that are in the business school. So so this will be an office for an administrative staff, and professors will also have offices like this. This is Aberdeen, Ola. This is his office. So this is the largest auditorium at the business school. This is for the bachelor classes. So there's also smaller rooms as well. So as a master student, you could take your class in a room like this. And then there's some journal space for studying. Outside of the business school, there's also a lot of study rooms that you can book and study in a team setting. So this is our principal of the university and used to be a professor at the business school in the past. This is the library. One nice thing with the library, it is open 24/7, so you can go there at any time. So just a bit more of the library. This is the cafeteria. This is the cafe. This is an assembly hall where graduation events and other events happen. And this is the bookstore, the IT desk. So this is the international office. We do have exchange programs as well. And we also have a very nice gym on campus. Like we have rock climbing, we have yoga, we have weightlifting. So it's a quite nice gym. So there is a student housing on campus, which I will talk about in the presentation as well. Okay, so that's a little bit about the university, just to give you a better visualization. So let me go back to the presentation. Okay, so we offer a wide range of different programs, and within our programs, we try to be data-driven and practical. So this is a Master's of Science in Business Administration that we offer. So these are academic programs, but at the same time, they are quite practical and data-driven. So we have a master's in business administration. So this is a master's of science. It is a 2-year program. So in the first year, you would take core courses depending on your specialization. And in the second year, you can take additional courses, and you can also go on international exchange in the first semester of the second year in a different university. And then finally, in the last semester, you don't take any classes, but you work on a master's thesis with an advisor. And we have 3 main majors within the business program. We have finance, economics, and management. So when you're applying for the program, you choose one of these specializations. So let me just talk a little bit about each specialization. So we have the major in finance. So in the major in finance, you're going to be taking courses like corporate finance, investments, risk management, and derivatives, business economics, econometrics, and machine learning. So in this program, you're going to get economic training, but a large portion of your courses will be in finance and taught by the faculty who specialize in finance and financial economics. So this, I would say, is our most popular program. And then we have economics, which I think is the second most popular program. This is an economics program, but it is more targeted towards being a business economics program. So the core courses you would take in this program is you would take business economics, and you would also be required to take some finance, so that all the students in our program, they have a basic economics and finance background, and then whatever they specialize in, they take additional courses in that specialization. So within economics, we also have a lot of interesting elective courses, such as you can focus on environmental economics, energy economics, or the economics of motivation, thinking about how you best motivate your employees. And within economics, you would also learn econometrics and machine learning of how to analyze data. So for me, I personally teach business economics, and I also partially teach econometrics and machine learning. So if you have an economics background, those courses will expand on what you did in your bachelor's courses. using more advanced theoretical tools, and also combining evidence from real research, and also having you practice working those theories with actual real empirical data. And then finally, we have a major in management. So if you do management, you're going to take courses like strategic management, where you would learn about game theory and like how firms compete with each other. Same thing with the strategic analysis, how a business makes strategic decisions. Instead of taking econometrics and machine learning, you would take a more general data analytics course, which is going to teach you how to process and analyze and visualize data, whereas machine learning and econometrics will focus more on causal inference and predictive analytics. You would take courses like organization leadership, strategy, and decision analysis. And here at the university, we also have a large innovation group. So you can also take courses related to innovation and sustainability. And as I mentioned before, when you are in the second year of the program, in your first semester, you can go on international exchange, and we partner with firms and universities. So and we have internships, and the internship program is currently ongoing, and it is something that we are developing. So you can also get opportunities within some of your elective classes to do projects with different companies. And some of these are international companies like Ernst and Young, which is an international accounting and consulting firm. Okay, so aside from these programs, I will circulate this to the organizers. We also just have this summary of all the programs we offer. So we have the Masters of Science in Business Administration, which I talked about, which you can major in finance, economics, or management. But recently we have introduced two other programs which are more social science oriented. So if you're studying in LUMS and you're focusing more on business and economics or finance, then you would be applying for Masters of Science in Business Administration. But if you're focusing more on the social sciences, then you could apply to these programs instead, which is a Master's in Service Leadership and International Business. And then we also have a Master's in Economics, Transformation and Innovation. So these are newer programs, and all of these are Masters in science, where you would have to take courses and also write a thesis. So this pamphlet will be circulated at the end of the session. So let me go back to the presentation. Okay, so we have some internship opportunities as a part of your elective courses, and you can also go on international exchange in the third semester. So that would be the first semester of the second year. And we have universities from all over the world that we partner with in Japan, in the US, in the UK, in the Netherlands, and in France, and so forth. Okay, so now that I have told you about our program offerings, and you can, of course, read about it more in the information that will be sent out, let me just talk about the tuition fees. So historically, there were two countries in Norway that would offer free tuition for everyone. This used to be Germany and Norway. And recently, Norway introduced tuition fees. And initially, they were quite high, but luckily this year they have reduced it. So University of Stavanger has made their tuition fees much more reasonable and affordable. So the new annual tuitions is around $6,000 per year, or around 1.7 million Pakistani rupees per year. Which if you compare the international tuition to other countries like Australia, UK, or I'm seeing some chats. Let me just make sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you compare to if you compare to universities in other countries, such as Australia, Canada, or the UK, the international tuition fees can be 3 or 4 times as high. So me as a Canadian, when I studied in Canada, I paid around the same tuition fees that you have here, which is very nice that you can pay this level of tuition as an international student. Now, there's also going to be living expenses that you have to take into account if you plan to study abroad. And I've put the expenses on the very lower end. So, like on-campus housing, this will start at around $600 per month. And off-campus housing, if it's in a shared setting where you have a suite and you're sharing where you have one room in the suite. So let's say the suite has 3 rooms, and you have one of the rooms that will start at around $500 per month. And yes, and then let's talk a little bit about Norway. So Norway, it has a small population of around 5.5 million people. There is a sizable Pakistani population too, around 40 to 50,000 Pakistanis living in Norway. It's considered to be a rich country for its size. So the average income in Norway is $67,000 per year, which is higher than countries like Canada and the US. And the GDP per capita is Norway is considered to be quite productive country as well. It's $87,000 per person, and it's considered to be a country with a high standard of living. So there's low crime, there is free healthcare, equality, nature, and good air quality and good water. So if you look at international metrics, it's often considered, one of the best countries to live in. So let's talk a little bit about Stavanger. Stavanger is the third or fourth largest city in Norway, depending on who you ask and how you measure it. So the population is around 150,000 people. It's the oil capital of Norway, so most of the oil is produced in Stavanger, and there are a lot of jobs related to the oil industry. It's an international city, so over 20% of the residents are foreigners outside of Norway. And it also has some of the most famous hikes in Norway, some of the most famous scenic hikes in Norway. The most well known is the Pulpit Rock. One of the Mission Impossible movies, one of the scenes from the movies was filmed in that area. Now, although Stavanger is a small city, it is very well equipped for its size. So we have a football stadium, we have a hockey stadium, we have two cinemas, we have theaters, we have over 100 restaurants. So for its size, it's very well equipped, and it has good public transportation. Let me just check the chart again if there are any questions. Yes, okay. Okay, so then next is let's talk about living in Stavanger. So personally, I have traveled all over Norway. I've been to all the major cities except one in the very north, Tromsø. And for me, Stavanger is my favorite city out of the ones that I have seen. And one reason I really like Stavanger has a good mix of city and nature. So it's not a big city like Lahore. We don't have any cities like that within Norway. But it's a good mix of city where you can get a city feeling, and it's a good mixture of nature. So we have great nature, and like one of my colleagues says, one nice thing with nature, it's free. So the best things you can do in Norway is go hiking in very scenic areas, and these are all free. Unlike where, if you live in Toronto, New York, London. So I did my PhD in Toronto, and I lived in downtown Toronto. I did not go to any like games or concerts or anything because I didn't have money. You have to pay for those things. But here, very nice activities, outdoor activities are free. We have cinemas, we have stadiums, concerts. Also, halal meat is very easily accessible. We have something known as an IMS, which is an international grocery store, and you can find fresh halal meat. And off the top of my head, I can think of three. that are 1 or 2 bus rides away from the university. There's also plenty of halal restaurants, Pakistani, Turkish, and Middle Eastern food. And Norway is the second largest exporter of fish in the world. So seafood is very common across Norway. So most restaurants you go to, they will serve seafood. There's also multiple mosques in the area. There's 2 cities in Stavanger. There's Stavanger, and then there's the other city called Sandnes, and they both have a mosque as well. There's frequent quality buses and trains, and most Norwegians they speak English. So I personally don't speak Norwegian, and I haven't had any issues interacting with the local population. So let me talk a little bit about the university. So this is the main public university in the southwestern region of Norway. It has around 12,500 students. So it's a small to medium-sized university. And it's also very well equipped. It has a very nice cafe, gym with climbing, golf simulator, and yoga. There's also on-campus housing for students, which some of the students can talk about at the end of the session. And it's also fairly international as well, relative to other universities within Norway. So over 20% of the students come from 160 different countries all over the world. And there are also prayer rooms that are available in multiple buildings. Okay, so now about the business school itself. So one thing that I really like about the business school is we have an international faculty. So even though it's a Norwegian university, 40% of the faculty are international from outside of Norway. So they did their PhD in the US, Canada, for example, myself, Germany, Turkey, China, and from many other countries. So it's a fairly international environment in terms of the faculty. There's also a very small student to faculty ratio. So you have easy access to the faculty. So when I did my studies at the University of Toronto, we would have a huge amount of students and very few instructors. So it'd be very hard to get in touch with the professors. You could only have access to the teaching assistants at some times, but that's not the case here. The professors are readily available for you to talk to about your projects and coursework. The courses, they compose of both team projects and exams. So for example, in my course, I have a 60% final exam and a 40% team project. So if you're a student, who's not the greatest at writing exams and don't perform well in high stress settings, you can work. There's also team projects in the courses as well. The courses, they are entirely in English, and they're also generative AI friendly. So we teach how to use generative AI in a productive way in our courses, and you are allowed to use a generative AI, but we do have some policies around how to go about doing that. And the entire program is in English. So all your lectures, your assignments, and everything is in English. And the master's thesis, which is the final part of the program, it can be done alone, or it can also be done in pairs, and you choose who you want to work with. Okay, so now let me talk about something that many of you might be thinking about is what about the opportunities to stay in Norway? So you can come here, you can get an education from an accredited university from a country with a good reputation. But some of you may want to settle here. So let me talk a little bit about this. So our graduates, they typically have had good success in finding jobs within Norway. But I will say that the success rate is higher amongst the local Norwegians rather than the international students. And after having interviewed and talked to many international students, a key challenge here is the labor market. Most of it is going to be in Norwegian. So although the education will of course be recognized, is a lot of jobs will be in Norwegian. So if you're serious about settling in Norway, getting PR, and getting a passport, you do have to learn Norwegian when you're here and you're studying within the program. So you can apply for permanent residency after working for 3 years. You can apply for citizenship after living for 48 years. Norway is not a part of the European Union, and as far as I know, countries that are part of the European Union have higher restrictions for getting a passport. So in terms of getting PR and passport, it is, from what I know, easier in Norway than it is in many other European countries, and Norway doesn't allow dual nationalities now, so you can have a Pakistani and Norwegian citizenship. So common pathways that we have seen after completing our master's program is students, they will learn Norwegian and they will work in a local industry. They may get lucky and work for an international company in English. So for example, a lot of the oil companies, they have jobs in English. Or if they did well in the master's program, they pursue a PhD. And a PhD here is, unlike in many countries, it's not, you don't pay any tuition and it is paid. So it is actually like a full-time job. And one of the students who you will talk to is doing a PhD in the program now. Okay, so what are the requirements for our program? So if you are going for the master's in business administration, then we will have expected that you have completed some courses in business economics or microeconomics, and some courses in applied statistics or mathematics. Of course, at LUMS, they might be called different things. That's okay. The main thing is if you have completed courses in economics and in statistics and math, this is the foundations that you need to do a master's in business administration. And the Norwegian letter grade scale is different from many parts of the world. Here, according to the Norwegian letter grade scale, they want you to have an average of C, which is in percentage terms around 70%. Okay, so whatever 70% is in LUMS, that's the equivalent you would need at minimum to be qualified for the program. So to get into our program, you don't have to be an A++ student, but you do have to be a good student who has the appropriate background and who is doing sufficiently well in your undergrad courses and getting at least 70%. So completing our business program will get you a Master's of Science in Business Administration. So this is not just an MBA, which can be quite short and very practically focused. This is an academic Master's of Business Administration, where you have 3 semesters of courses and 1 semester of thesis writing with an advisor. And in terms of how you can apply and the deadlines, so the applications open in the 15th of November to the 1st of December. And there's the link, and the slides will be circulated after the presentation, and you can go on the link and apply to the program once the applications are open. And another thing that I didn't add here is, of course, because the program is in English, you do need to have a sufficient amount of English proficiency, which I imagine that many of you will studying in LUMS in Pakistan. Okay, so now I know I've told you a lot. So I welcome you to do your own research. So here are some relevant channels you can look on YouTube to learn about the university and our program. So we have a YouTube channel for the business school. Most of the videos are in Norwegian, but you can find some in English, so you can go ahead and watch those. We also have YouTube channels from actually our alumni from the university. So we have one Nigerian student who has graduated from the program, and I think they work in the UK now. And they have campus tours, room tours, and their student experience in the program. And they also interview other students who were studying here and got a job here. And then we have a Pakistani student who did engineering. And then he has campus tours and perspectives on living in Norway. So you can look at these channels on your own. And yeah, finally, here are some useful links. So if you want to read about the reduced tuition fees for the international students, you can do that, admission deadlines or information about student housing. And If you have any questions, then you can reach out to us. So I will contact Shah and give him some emails that students can use to reach out if they have questions. So now what we will do is we will move to the question and answer session. So I have some students here from our program, and I think they're already active in the chat. For the students in our program, could you turn on your camera or just speak out so that I know that you're here? Maybe they don't have the privileges, or put in the chat. Put in the chat if you need privileges. Okay, let me just see who here is from our side. Okay, we have Shaban. We have
Yeah, can you hear me, Hammad?
yes, we have Sadaf.
Yeah.
Okay, great,
Okay.
great. Okay, Sadaf, since you unmuted, could you just say a little bit about yeah, just a little bit about yourself. What stage of what stage of in academia at least you're in now?
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm Sadaf, and I'm from Islamabad, Pakistan. And just a bit of background. I did my bachelor's from NUST, Islamabad, and I did my master's from Germany, the Hertie School of Governance. And then I did another master's from University of Oslo. I also have experience teaching at NUST for 2 years. And then after teaching in NUST, I actually moved to Norway to do my second master's. And after graduating from there, I have been doing my PhD at the University of Stavanger. I'm currently in my third year of PhD, and I focus on education. And I am like Hammad mentioned, the good thing about the PhD program is that you're no longer a student, but rather like an employee. And you're usually involved in like project-based research. At least that's what I'm involved in. And in terms of my overall experience, I can give like a work perspective as well as a bit of student perspective from my time in Oslo. It's been like a really nice experience living and studying in Norway. In the past, I've studied and lived in the US, Germany, and a few other countries. And now I'm in a stage where I prefer living in Norway out of all of these countries because I think Norway offers like a really good work-life balance. And if you have a family, I think that's really important. In terms of work environment, and I'm sure like study environment, like you have really nice colleagues who support you. You have like good relationships. You enjoy your work, and if you're stuck along the way, there's plenty of support for that. And like Hammad said, in terms of living in the city of Stavanger, I think it's not too big, of course, compared to the cities in Pakistan, but still it offers like a really nice mix of like activities. Nature, like Hammad said, is amazing. But then you also get to experience some food options, food scene as well. It's of course not like we have in Pakistan, but still, I mean, it's fine. And I
So
totally,
just to ask you, just a follow up on that. So
yeah.
has it been easy to get halal meat in Norway, especially in Stavanger? And also, have you how do you feel about the public facilities like the buses, the public transportation, or healthcare? If you have any experience with that, how that has been?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of transportation, it's super convenient. Like you generally buy like a monthly ticket if you're commuting from a bit far. But in terms of students, if most of them find housing close to the university, then they don't need to buy this monthly ticket. But otherwise, if you're living close to the center, it's recommended that you buy like a monthly bus ticket, and I think it's subsidized for students. But then again, that's also a cost that you need to incur. In terms of halal food, yeah, it's pretty easy now, I guess, compared to like a decade ago. There are, like you said, international grocery stores where you get all kinds of masalas and meat and everything. So it's pretty easy. And in terms of health facilities, had also experience with that. I mean, so far my experience has been very good, but then there are some people who might have different stories, but I've been very satisfied so far. And for those who are wondering, so you'd basically pay like a small deductible. So it's like a very subsidized fee that you pay to the doctor. And the rest is basically supported by the state. So yeah, I mean, so far it's pretty good. And then I would just comment on Hammad's, I think, was it last or second last slide, that if you are planning to settle in Norway for long term, I think everybody needs to be mindful of this language thing, that you are coming to a different country where the working language is different than English. So you should be willing to invest in your language skills if you really want to, do well in Norway, because it's important, or your chances of employability will increase a lot if you know the language. So that's something I think that everybody should be aware of.
Great, great. And one final thing, could you just talk about whether you think Stavanger is a safe city, especially as a woman? In some countries, it's not, safe to like go outside at night. Like, how do you feel about the safety here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's pretty safe. I wear a hijab, I stand out, but I've never felt that I'm the odd one out walking on the street. And you find like a lot of like you said, diverse people, like women with hijab and, from other cultures. So yeah, yes, absolutely. It's very safe. I can walk home alone, like I think even at midnight. So it's pretty safe, I think, compared to a lot of big cities around the world.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks,
Yeah.
Steph. Is Shaban here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, great. Shaban, could you just introduce yourself? I know you're like a student of the program. You did your studies here, and I know you also work part-time. So if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Shaban. I belong to Parachinar district, Rome. I did my bachelor's in economics from University of Peshawar, and then I moved to Norway to pursue my master's in economics. And this year I graduated with distinction. And right now I'm on a post-study work permit that is called a job seeking visa or something like this. So yeah, that's a little bit of my introduction. And then I have already answered many questions in the chat. And if anyone having any question regarding studies or this specific program in economics or business school or the living condition or the job market or anything, I'm here to answer anything.
Yeah, I mean, could you speak a little bit about how, since you graduated from the program, and congratulations on that, like how you like the program? Were the professors nice? Like, did you get a good quality education? Like, is there a good study space on campus?
Yeah, so about the program that I did in economics, in my experience, my overall experience was very positive. I learned a lot of things. I worked on new skills. I developed new skills. And in Pakistan, back then when I was doing my bachelor's, we were like pretty much doing the theory work. That's it, nothing else. In here, we did a lot of projects. We did a lot of assignments, group assignments. Uh, we did projects with companies, and also the coursework. It's not just about theory. It's not about memorization, but you can, like most of the courses, you have to do the project work and thesis work or the assignment work. You have to do it in a group. So that's like a teamwork, and it's a very interactive experience and a very good learning experience as well. And the
Great.
teachers very
Yeah.
cooperative, the department is very cooperative, the staff, the administration, and the workload, it's never stressful, so it's easily manageable. You can do a part-time job along with your studies. If you work like even though it's expensive to live here, and now that they have introduced the tuition fee. But if you do 80 hours a month, that is allowed limit. So I guess it's more than enough to cover your living expenses.
Can you talk a little bit about the part-time job? Can you describe where you work, how many hours, and if you
Yeah,
don't mind, like what kind of like the pay someone can expect?
yeah. So regarding the part-time job, there are many options. Like for the international students that they don't speak in Norwegian, so the options are then limited. But if you speak Norwegian, then you have a lot of options. Uh, Majority of the options are in retail, in the food industry, in restaurants and stuff like this. But mostly international students, they work in restaurants or in the retail sector and the stores and things like this. Regarding pay, if you work like 80 hours, that is the limit
80
by the
hours
law.
per month.
Yeah, 80 hours per month. So
Uh-huh.
you easily get a salary of 16 to 1700 US dollars after tax. And before tax, you can get like 21 or 2200. But after tax, you get like 16 or 1700 dollars. But your living expenses are mostly around if you have a moderate lifestyle, I guess you can manage it in 1200 to 1300 US dollars, and the rest you can save. And then you
Yeah,
also have summer, that in summer you can work full time, and you can save a lot of money in this 3 months, June, July, and August.
great, great. And I think you also you have on-campus housing, right? Or off-campus housing, or as part of the university?
So no, no, I'm living in a student housing that's not on campus, but it's very
Yes.
close to campus, and all of the student housing, they are in the very close proximity of the campus, so you can easily manage. And the some of the students, they asked about the public transportation in Stavanger, especially. I'm not sure about the other cities, but in Stavanger, in my personal experience, it's very effective. It's very on time. I'm never late. I was like whenever I want to go, like most of the places that you need to go, like your school, your workplace, even though some the tourist spots, you can do that with the public transport, and you are exactly on time. You are never late.
Great. And what's the approximate rent for the student housing on campus, off campus, that
Uh,
that you know about?
I cannot comment on the student housing on campus, but the rates are pretty much the same because it's the SIS
Yeah.
association that runs the student housing, and the prices are pretty much the same with a little bit of difference. Let's say uh, 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 50 to $100 difference, and that's it. Right now I'm paying around $450. That's a separate room with its own restroom or its own toilet, and then we have a shared kitchen. That's also a very good thing. I met a lot of friends, a lot of people from different countries across the Europe, across Asia, and many other places.
Yeah.
So every semester we get this exchange student, so that's also a very interactive experience as well.
Great, great, great. $450 US per month. Okay, great, great.
Yeah.
Do we have Salman here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, yes. Salman, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself and
Yeah.
what stage of life you're at now.
Yes. I'm just going to tell about my background. Before coming to Norway, I have experience as data analyst from Lahore, which is about 6 years, and I'm graduated from IBA. I'm originally from Sialkot, but I live in Lahore. But at present, I'm living in Norway, so I have diverse kind of things.
Great. Can you tell us, did you graduate from the program already? The
Yes,
master's
I
program and
did in June 2025. Yes.
okay, how was your experience in the program?
Experience is quite good, especially if we talk about the teaching methodology. It's quite good in Norway. Like as compared to Pakistan, it's very interactive. You have case discussions, workshops, and you work on different projects with different industries. So I think it's very good to build connections and networking with them at the same time. So it's one of the best, I think, learning experience you can expect from while studying in Norway.
Great. And what can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now?
Okay, so I'm on the job seeker visa, but at the same time, I'm improving my Norwegian language and applying for the jobs. So I'm working on these two things at present, like they are two my main activities right now on job seeking visa.
Great. Thank you. And then finally, do we have Imran here?
No, because I think he has his interview, so I think
Okay. Yeah, he has a job interview. Okay, yeah, but Imran, you know Imran, right? He also
Yes.
graduated from the program?
Yes.
Okay. And he's doing job interviews now, a similar position as you?
No, right now he has his I think PhD interview for the PhD.
Interview for
And
the PhD. Okay.
yeah,
So
he's
he's
traveling
going the
to
PhD
Oslo,
route. Okay.
so yeah.
Great. Okay, good. So now, do the students have any questions for us, me or the past students, Pakistani students? You can just unmute and ask. I will also check the chat.
I had a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So when I was looking to the websites for many Norwegian universities, the application deadline was like I think in December, but like they
Okay.
were asking for the full transcript from the university to like around about February. So like we wouldn't be able to give that if I'm graduating in 2026, for example. So how would that work?
Are you in the last year of your program?
Yeah, I'm in my senior year.
Okay, so you're saying that on the website they ask for a full transcript, but you wouldn't have a full transcript before you graduate, right?
That was the case for a couple universities. I'm not sure. I didn't check the one for MBA for University of Stavanger, but I did check it for I think another couple other universities. So I'm not sure
Okay,
exactly.
I can look into that, but I would imagine that our requirements are fairly reasonable. Of course, you should be applying in the last year of your program, and we understand you're not going to have a full transcript. But I mean, like I said, with the requirements, most of the requirements we're looking for can be completed in the first 2 or 3 years. So like math, stats, microeconomics, business, so as long as you have the requirements, I would say go ahead and apply. But I can look into that.
Can I add something on this?
Yes.
So I think if you can just do two things right now. Send an email to admission office, and he will tell you about this. And at the same time, if you get a letter from your universities and saying that you will graduate in like next year before summer, so if you upload that document, it will help you, I think so.
Great.
Oh,
Okay, what work experience is needed to get admission? Mariam, I see you asked this question. As far as I know, so we're not like an MBA program where you need work experience and then the courses are a little bit more practical and less scientific. So this is a master's of science. So you don't need any work experience to apply. It's nice if you have work experience, but as long as you're meeting the academic requirements, you can apply straight from your bachelor's. Okay, someone asked about the GMAT. Yeah, so Saman, do you wanna, since you studied here, did you need to do any GMAT
No,
or TOEFL? Like, what were the
I think they
requirements?
only required to have like English proficiency, maybe IELTS, PT, or TOEFL. So that's only requirement to get admission here. GRE, GMAT, it's not required. UIS, yeah.
Okay, good.
The minimum score is 6.5 in IELTS.
Okay, 6.5. Okay.
Yeah, 6 in each module.
Okay, great.
I think somebody has their hand
Danielle,
raised.
yeah, Tanveer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had
go
a
ahead.
question. Yeah, so in terms of the other programs that you talked about as well, For example, I'm a political science major in my third year, right? I'm coming from a social science background, but oftentimes, sort of what we see at LUMS is a lot of times people coming from a social science background, we also tend to go into very commercial fields, right? And one of the sort of industries that I'm targeting, for example, the shipping industry, it's pretty huge even in Norway, right? And that's one of
Yeah,
the main
yeah,
things sort
huge.
of that I see in Norway. So essentially two questions, right? Based on that. Firstly, the other program you mentioned, that the one that was a bit more catered to people coming from the social science background. Could
We
you
have two,
maybe
yeah.
speak to that? Yeah, could you speak to that and some things and statistics, for graduates, or something in the coursework for that. And secondly, how strong connections does the university have with sort of like the shipping industry? Because it's a very network-based industry. So, what kind of networking opportunities would perhaps be provided if one was to sort of come to Stavanger?
Okay, okay. Yes, those are great questions. Unfortunately, I won't have the best answers to them at the moment, but I'm noting them down. So these other two programs are new. They just got approved recently this year, and uh, so these are new programs there. And the main thing that I can say about these programs is the requirements are different. So, for these programs, if you don't have math, if you don't have business, if you have more social science courses, you can still qualify for these programs. So if you want to do the business one, then, we do expect like math, business, and economic background. But if you want to do these other ones, then you don't need that core background in mathematics or economics. At the University of Stavanger, we have an entire faculty that does innovation and sustainability. So that is the faculty that teach in these programs. I'm not a part of that group, but I will in the pamphlet that we will send out. It will have information about the type of courses you will take in the program. And if you have any other questions, we will have emails where you can send a question to that email, and then a person who is more informed about that will get back to you. In terms of the shipping industry, yes, that's another, Norway is a large producer of these ships and cruise lines. What specific connections we have at the university? Okay, I don't specifically know this. This is something that I can ask. Essentially, how these connections work, they're a little bit informal. We have a lot of Norwegian faculty. Those senior faculty are quite well known, and I know we have one faculty where he does environmental economics, and in Norway they actually have this. In Stavanger specifically, they're starting this research where students and faculty they go on a boat all over the world. You can read about it on the website. So I'm thinking of one person who might have connections to the shipping industry, but I would need to double check this. Okay, what else is everyone? Are there programs for education policy? Sadaf, are you still here?
Yeah, I am.
Yes, yes.
So
So I can just say we don't have a program specifically for education, but we actually have not in the business school, but we have a lot of faculty who work in economics of education, and we have a separate department of education. And so Sadaf, you can speak to this.
yeah, so within the business school, like Hammad said, we have a labor group, we call them, so who focus on economics of education. And another really strength of the University of Stavanger from a research perspective is that UIS conducts a lot of large-scale randomized control trials. If you come from an economics background, you probably have heard about them. So we have really rich data sets where we run interventions in schools, kindergartens, etc. So in our group, which sits in the business school, we are usually part of these big RCTs project. But apart from the US Business School, there are 3 centers actually which are just focused on education. So there's the Learning Environment Center, and they come from educational psychology background. They have researchers working both on like qualitative psychology and quantitative psychology, again, with a focus on education. We also have a knowledge center for education, which work on like collecting like large body of evidence regarding different questions, and primarily they focus on conducting meta-analysis. And then we have another center, which is called the Learning Center for Reading, and they focus primarily on improving reading competencies, etc. So yes, there's actually a very rich, considering how small Stavanger is and how small UIS is, there's a really rich group of people working in the field of education. And I personally have a background in public policy. So it was very nice for me that within the field of public policy, I sort of chose the niche within education. But I focus more on the psychometric methods, which is like the quantitative side of measuring, assessing, and evaluating aspects of education. I have to leave, I'm sorry, but I'm going to leave my email address in the chat. If anybody is interested in learning more about the program, the university, or Stavanger in general, I'd be very happy to answer. And like I said, I used to teach at NUS, so by looking and seeing some of these faces, I feel a bit nostalgic teaching these kids. So please feel free to reach out. I'd be very happy to answer any queries, and good luck. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Sadaf, for taking the time
Thanks.
to join.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there's
Okay, so
another question in the chat, and they're asking that we were like looking for programs, and most of them were in Norwegian, or like were open to only Norwegians or the European students only. The reason of that is that these programs are mostly taught in Norwegian. That's why. But in English, we have a lot of mainstream programs like business administration, economics, data analytics, engineering programs, social sciences, and a lot of more. But there are some limited programs that are only open for Norwegians because they are taught in Norwegian. That's why.
yeah, and all the programs I presented, those are open to international students. They're all taught in English.
Is that also true for the computer science programs, like data science and computer science?
This I don't know. That's outside of the business school, but I do know we have like computer science and engineering,
Yeah.
and I have met international students studying in those programs. So I would think they have English options.
If you are from computer science background and you have some programming skills, then I guess you're probably not going to continue your study, because as soon as you come here with a little bit of experience or a little bit of programming language understanding, you can easily land a job right away. Talking about my experience, I like some of my friends, they started with me in the autumn, and by the end of this December, they got the full-time job offers, and they didn't even finish this one semester, and they probably didn't even pass any course because they were just applying for the jobs, and they got a jobs, and they went to good companies like Capgemini and the KPMG and stuff like this. But if you have good skills like programming skills, you can connect with the people on LinkedIn, like what skills are. I don't have much understanding on the language requirements, but what I hear is that is C++ or Java or the other languages that are Python is very useful here. And yeah, so you need to connect to people and luckily, one of my friend, he's from Lahore, and he connected on LinkedIn with someone before coming to Norway, and as soon as he landed here in Norway in Stavanger, he got a job like in 2 or 3 months. And this other guy I know from Peshawar, he studied in IM Sciences, he studied software engineering, he got a job in record time, like 45 days. But back then it was like job market was quite good because it was right after the Corona lockdown. But now it's a bit competitive. But and the AI came, this thing, AI thing came up. But you still like IT people, they are considered to be lucky ones here. And most of them might be. And then in CS you have I guess computer science and computational engineering, I guess, or something like this, the programs that we have in the university. I'm not sure about other programs that we have or may not have, but we have computer science, the main one, and then we also have the computational engineering program.
Yeah, thanks, Shaban, for the detailed answer. Yeah, we have other programs at the university. I'm from the business school, and the presentation is about the programs in the business school. If you have a computer science background, I think that's great for studying for doing a master's in business. And we have a lot of courses that are like data driven. They're coding based, so you can take those classes, and when you do a thesis, you can do a more data driven project, and you can target specific industries that you might want to work in the future when you're writing your thesis. So yeah, I think computer science is a great background, and as Shaban said, we have many industries even locally within Stavanger who will hire for those type of skills. Okay, any other questions? I think we are kind of getting to the end of the session now. You can just unmute and ask. I'm just looking over the chat. Yeah, anything anyone else is wondering about the university or living in Stavanger or Norway more broadly? Okay, I'm just reading that can someone who graduated pursue an MBA there? Yes. Okay. So yeah. So remember, ours is a Master's of Science Business Administration. So it is more academic than an MBA. You do write a thesis, and the courses will teach theory. They will teach data analytics, and you will take a course called Business Decisions, which is more like an MBA course where you go over different case studies and working groups and think about what the best strategy for the business should be. So it has the good components of an MBA, but it also has components that you would get in a Master's of Economics. So that's how our program is. So yes, you don't need any work experience to apply. Okay, anyone have any questions? Final call for questions.
How would you compare the work-life balance like in Norway compared to Germany? It's like, I mean, of course it's better than the US, but like, is it different between like those countries as well? Because I've heard Norway has like, do you guys have 4-day work weeks as well? Is that true?
Okay. Look, I haven't worked in Germany, but I worked in Canada, so I can tell you about Canada versus Norway. So I would say for me, like people ask me like, okay, moving from Canada to Norway, what's the biggest, change? I would say the biggest change is in the work-life balance. So like here, for example, we have a 5-day work week, where so you work Monday to Friday. At least within the university, like for example, people will tend to leave at like let's say 4 p.m. Most of the people are usually out of the office. And people also enjoy their weekends here. So over the weekends, they go for a hike. They have gatherings, and then on Monday they will talk about their weekend. So this is not the culture in Canada. Like if you go to universities there, you have professors who will be there at like 7 or 8 p.m. and then working on their research. And then if you're a PhD student, you're not really supposed to enjoy your weekend. You're supposed to work on your thesis and talk about how much progress you made on Monday. And if you had a fun weekend, then you don't really tell other people about it, or there might be some social penalties. They might say things like, "Oh, so you're really far ahead in your thesis since you had a good time over the weekend." So yeah, the work-life balance is very different here. People do work hard, but they do have a peace of mind at the same time. I can't compare it to other European countries, but for me personally, coming from Canada, the work-life balance here is better. Here, I feel there's more flexibility. If I wanna work very hard and I want to be in the office all the time, I can do that. But sometimes if I want to be a little bit more relaxed, leave a little bit early, like I can do that as well. Okay, great. So I think we can end the session there. So thanks everyone for coming. I will work with Shah to distribute some material and contact emails that you can email if you have any questions. It was my pleasure being here with you all today, and I know it's late in Pakistan, and I hope everyone has a good night.